Greetings, gentlemen. It is I, Victor von Frankenstein, the Grateful MGTOW, back again with more content as promised. Welcome. Let's get started. So, I would just like to have a little chat this morning about what I see going on, just some of the observations. As I know, my channel is mostly shadow banned, and I see a lot of the content creators that bring a positive message into this community diminishing, and I see the squabbles between different individuals, people that I won't bring up. They're detracting from the true message of reaching men and helping to guide these men down a path, the middle way, a path not to stray, so that they don't falter on the path of life. As so many of us fully know that this life and the way that it has been created by governance, female empowerment, feminism run rampant. I see more infiltrators that come into this community and they try to shame or spread a message of disinformation about what MGTOW truly is. And at its core, MGTOW is simply a philosophy of absolute individualistic choice. And each of us must find our own path, a path not to stray. And there are so many obstacles and adversities, and things on the wayside that will cause us to falter from following that path. I think we need to simply ignore these people and not give them credence. It's funny that these people will come into the community with their messages of shame, and yet they would not choose to shame the Buddhist monk that chooses the same path. A path of abstinence, path of self-choice, of self-actualizing one's own path. And I know that there are some people out there that will listen and try to understand this message more clearly, instead of seeing MGTOW as simply a group of misogynistic men that have some type of hatred towards women, when that's not the case. Though each of us in our lives, our individual lives, and on our own paths, may have individual women that we might have issues with from our past and at present. Those are individual interactions. It is not a generalized statement of hatred. These people are misguided. And I've been trying to reach out to these people a little more in a diplomatic manner, because I truly believe that MGTOW, at the basis of this philosophy, although it includes the no cohabitation and no marriage, at its basis, MGTOW is simply the path of the Buddha. And we can see it reflected in so many of the topics that men in this community discuss. And we need to be reaching out, even to the men that are still blind, that are still lost and misguided on their paths. We still need to try to be understanding and try to build bridges some of these interactions that are taking place more and more that I see in the recent uploads and with the different factions that are coming into this community, and the fights and the drama that is being created. It's a distraction. And it's something that we need to just simply turn our backs on. And remember that the true message is to reach out to other men. And not to necessarily give them a hand or technically help them, because one can only help oneself. They have to be willing to help themselves. We can't do these things for you. You are the only person that can change your life, your path. And I know I went down that road. The experiences of my life. And when I finally found the path of MGTOW and really understood that this was a reflection of philosophies that I had already been studying for so long and trying to understand and to come to grips to in the great infinite unknown of the universe, of what's in our soul, the infinitely fractalized universe that it stretches beyond all comprehension. I guess what some people would label as God. But when I found MGTOW and I started focusing on myself, simply to better myself, I find that my focus, my drive, I've done so much, and most of that can be attributed to following the path of the MGTOW monk. Now, I just want to give a quick shout out to Hello Mentoring. He came on the scene and he made a video about MGTOW that sounded quite misguided. And I made some suggestions to him. And he actually listened and tried to actually understand. And he made a response video back apologizing to MGTOW. And I appreciate that he gave me a little shout out there, but, you know, I'm just glad that there are people that are willing to listen and understand. MGTOW isn't about hatred towards women. It's simply the gynocracy that's been created. The system that is in place that truly puts men in a position of subservience to women, either by their own free will or by the force of the government at gunpoint or incarceration. Now, I don't want to get too deep into this. I want all of you gentlemen to know that, I mean, I'm here. I try to listen. I'm always willing to have some commentary, have some interaction, discussion, debate. But in the end, each of us still have to go our own path. We have to make our own choices. And we're the only ones that can choose that path, not to stray. Now, I just want to say to you gentlemen, you know, when it comes to women, I thought Hello Mentoring made a good point about how he becomes emotionally attached. And it's a part of the biological evolution of men to become that attached to women, to protect them, It's a role that we've served in order to maintain that humankind continued on through the ages. But when a man chooses to engage with a woman, it is she that must be submissive to him, but it is he that is truly subservient to her. And each of us must find our own path, the path in between and the path not to stray, what is known as the middle way. And though the infinite paths that each individual may run parallel to one another, those paths can never be the same. However, the point of origin and the end point of each individual are all the same. Profoundly, they are actually the same point with no distance, time, or space in between them. They are the point at which infinity intersects. I hope this message finds you gentlemen well. We'll talk again real soon.